Working on the website for H+ Sport, I have their address here on their contact page, but it would be even nicer to show a map. Of course, there's an easy way to do this. We can select the address, copy it, and go over to Bing or Google Maps and search for it. Now, of course, this is not the actual location of H+ Sport. That's a business that doesn't really exist. This actual address is for the Capitol Records building. We'll just pretend this is where the business is located. So anyway, we can embed this map. This gives us a chance to generate some code, which I can then copy and bring over to my HTML file. I'm going to scroll down a whole bunch to my custom content here. Here we go. I'll paste this in right here. I'll save that, go back to my browser and take a look. Refresh this. And there we go. We have a map. This works fine, but I don't have a whole lot of control over how this map looks or what happens when a user interacts with it. To get that kind of flexibility, I need to take control of the map programmatically using an API. That is, a software toolkit provided through JavaScript that lets me change the maps. Let's talk a little more generally about what an API is and how you would use one. When I say API, I'm referring to an application programming interface. In this case, when I say application, that's the page or the app that I'm working on. And the API is the official way to use someone else's JavaScript, use someone else's resources, to create something on your own site. I find that one of the biggest challenges when working with an API, other than the challenges of programming in general, just fixing bugs and so forth, is the terminology. You may know what you want, but you won't necessarily know what it's called, because an API is written by a developer. So they might have to be very careful about how they name things to avoid collisions with other terminology and technology that their company works on. So they won't necessarily use the same terms you would when you're trying to solve any given problem. This is where example code and documentation is your friend. A well-written API usually includes good documentation and useful example code that you'll be able to copy and paste to get yourself started. Many websites and services offer JavaScript APIs. Bing, in other words Microsoft, offers a rich Maps API with a generous free tier, which is what we'll be using shortly. Of course, Google offers many JavaScript APIs, including Maps. Theirs is quite popular, but currently requires an associated billing profile and therefore a credit card to sign up, so that's not really a great match for us right now. YouTube offers APIs for controlling their players, as does Vimeo. SoundCloud also offers an API, but in their case, they call an API an SDK, or a software development kit. So, when you're looking for an API or a way to interface with someone else's service using JavaScript, you can search for the service's name and then JavaScript API or JavaScript SDK and see what comes back. So, that's what an API is, and going forward, we're going to see how the Bing Maps API works to add a map to our website that really works just how we want it to.